Arctic Monkeys, Brainstorm, and that's one of those songs that's got a fake ending. And whenever you get one of those songs played live, when people cheer the fake ending, and you think, oh, you're not a proper fan, are you? That's James Acaster. Hello.
Hello, mate. Yeah, I was once at Reading Festival 2000, and a band called My Vitriol did a song that had a fake ending, and when everyone cheered, someone went, "It's not finished, you idiot!" And they were really angry, and they were really just like so furious.
I love a fake ending. I think there should be more of them in popular music.
Yeah, I think there should be more in comedy. We should do more. There's the joke, and then we go, then we can just carry on.
You thought that was the punchline?
Jam.
How are you, James?
Yeah, good. Yeah, pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, so
got a cup of tea there?
Got a cup of tea. It's a nice brisk morning. Well, it's the afternoon, but
it's the afternoon, and it's dreadful outside. But apart from that, you keep raising the tea to your lips and then putting it back down. I'm going to talk, right? I'm going to say something, just so that because I need you to drink that tea. The sound. That was like we'd got a BBC sound effects CD called Drinking
guy in the
Tea.
corner with like some water and a triangle and a rain shaker.
Now James is going to walk down a gravel pathway. Has it been a good week?
Yeah, that's been nice.
Yeah,
it's just been doing the usual stuff, Josh.
Good. And this week, I'm just drinking tea loudly.
Just drinking tea really loudly. Neighbours complaining, but what are they going to do? Stop walking down that gravel pathway. We're trying to sleep.
I'm really parched. Just shut up. After 11 p.m, you're not. So we're talking today about when you've gone to the wrong things, or rented the wrong things, or whatever, the wrong things. You presumably have stuff on this.
Got about 3 stories about this.
Here we go. Let me just pull up a chair and have a sip of my tea.
One of the shorter ones, me and my friend Graham went to see Terminator 3.
Yeah, I mean, why?
Why? It was the best of a bad bunch.
Oh, right,
sometimes you go to cinema and you don't really know what you're going to go and see, and you just look at the board and you just make the decision based on what is going to make you regret your life.
Yeah.
So we did that, and Graham likes to, when we go into the cinema, shout really immature phrases. Yeah. So as soon as we walked in, we're behind that big wall where you couldn't see anyone. He just shouted bums really, really loud.
Yes,
just bums.
Classic.
I think that's pretty acceptable.
Yeah.
I shouted that, but really, and I think because it's so immature, it was more embarrassing. We walked in and sat down. We thought we were walking in during the trailers. We realised we were walking in halfway through a different showing of Terminator 3 during a very tense moment where the lady Terminator's looking for John Connor behind a box, and we sat down and realised what it was, and instead of waiting for me, Graham just legged it, just ran out, really ran, and then as I was walking out holding popcorn and a big drink, an old man as I walked past him just went, "Bums."
Do you think he was referring to him saying that, or that was his reference to what he thought you were like?
I think that man was probably quite happy that he got to do both in one. It's like, I think they're a couple of bums. I do not approve of what they said.
Any others?
Well, you know our friend comedian Mike Wozniak.
I do. Wonderful comedian.
Yeah. Everyone should try and see Mike if they can.
I had to listen to the podcast to check it was like all right, and last time I referred to him, turns out I was having a moustache, which is not actually the kind of praise you want.
But he does have a moustache.
He's better than it. He's got a moustache, but he's better than that.
He is better than that. He doesn't need it. But he was doing a preview of his Edinburgh show in London, and I really wanted to go and see it. I had the night off, so I went along to the venue that was listed in Time Out. And as I got there, the audience was walking in. I just made it in the nick of time, so I ran in on the back of the queue, got in and sat down. And all the lights were down, and then the lights, a very faint spotlight just came up, and then there was someone's face who I was like, "That man doesn't have a moustache. That doesn't look like Wozniak." And then the person, but I couldn't really quite see it. They started swinging. They had a torch on a skipping rope. They started swinging it around their head. So it was like blinding the audience to go around. They started doing a monologue about a lighthouse. I thought, this is a very different direction for Mike. I mean,
Mike has ripped up the rule book.
His last show was a load of well-observed comic routines, slightly smutty, but he's never done a monologue about a lighthouse before, especially as his opening gambit. And then I realised I was watching a three-man play about three men who go crazy in a lighthouse, and I was at the back of the room at this point, furthest away from the door. I couldn't leave.
No.
And I watched the whole thing.
Was it good?
It was actually quite enjoyable. Turns out Mike had double booked, or the venue double booked, and Mike had to go and do his preview elsewhere.
I hope there's lots of people wanting a lighthouse-based play in Mike's preview. Well, keep them coming in, listeners, on 83936 or tweet us at XFM.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM Podcast.
It's XFM, it's Josh Widdicombe, and as it's the final hour, joined by James Acaster, and we're talking today about times you've gone to the wrong thing, or rented the wrong thing, or read the wrong, whatever. Read the wrong thing wouldn't be one.
Read the wrong thing. Getting up to do a eulogy and read it out on FHM column.
What have you got? Any reason?
I got a text or a tweet in, I don't know, from Steve from Sunderland.
I kind of I queued that in a very weird way, I realised.
Have I got
you got any?
I have. Steve from Sunderland. Now, he says, as a 12-year-old lad, so, you know.
Is this back in the day, or is Steve from Sunderland a very precocious 12-year-old?
He doesn't really say. But it says, oh God, someone says, sorry, I'm reading this off of my Gmail, and as I was reading it, someone's Google chatted me, and that made me I'm now reading the wrong thing, ladies and gentlemen. Against all odds, after we said it couldn't happen, I've just started reading the wrong thing.
Who Google chatted you?
Stuart Laws, he says, what you doing?
Why don't you reply? Let's have a reply. I'm live on the radio.
Live on XFM, reading an email. There you go. Stuart knows now. Now, here we go. Steve from Sunderland. Also, now, not only have I read the wrong thing, I've just typed the wrong thing and told him I'm live on XDM. So...
What a scrape.
If no one
believes... Live scrape, ladies and gentlemen.
In case no one believes my scrapes are real. That's my... Okay. Steve from Sunderland.
Close down the G-chat, mate. Close down the G...
Yeah, I'm going to close it now because he's typing again. Can I have a shout-out? You've already had a shout-out, Stu. You've already had way too much attention. This is about Steve from Sunderland. Steve from Sunderland says...
Just before we get into this, just before this new one, just a quick link on this one.
Just a quick link. Trying to get distracted by your mate Stuart. As a 12-year-old lad...
It's better be good. It's better be good, Steve from Sunderland.
I visited the local video store 3 times a week. Doesn't say if he rented stuff.
Like clockwork.
So much so that my dad used to let me rent anything I wanted, and the woman who worked there, in brackets, who was fit, first proper crush, that would explain the trio of visits, used to let me rent 18s without said father being there.
Whoa. She needs sacking.
Yeah, you get 5 for that. I don't care if that 12-year-old's looking at you with doe eyes. One day I rented Flash Gordon. I mean, really taking that 18 certificate privilege to the max there. And when I got home and put it in the top-loaded machine, a few minutes in, I realised this wasn't Flash Gordon, but Flesh Gordon. The erotic spoof version. Now, I don't think most people refer to pornographic films as erotic spoofs. It's not a spoof, really, is it? No. It's not like Hot Shots.
I'm enjoying the nudity and the puns.
As a 12-year-old lad, always refers to himself as a 12-year-old lad, never a boy or a lad. I watched an hour, then took it back. Now, I don't know if that's how long it took him to figure it out, or if he was just confused. or curious. That then took it back and complained to the very embarrassed, in brackets, fit woman. I mean, he's clearly, he fancies ladies as a 12-year-old. I mean, unless Flesh Gordon didn't. I don't know if it featured ladies.
Let's not get into that.
If anyone knows about the plot lines of Flesh Gordon, if you can tweet in.
Yeah, tweet in 83936 or at XFM if you've seen Flesh Gordon.
The very last sentence of this is what I like. After this mix-up, you would think he would be a bit careful with his next rental, but he says, I then proceeded to rent the Goonies.
Well, we got there in the end and it was worth it. You are listening to XFM.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
This is Josh Widdicombe on a Saturday morning on XFM, and we arrive at what Neil said is many people's favourite part of the show to me. He said, bill it as that. But I've got such an ego, I refuse to.
I mean, not many things are as good as the tea slurping.
I know it is. It's actually the bit of the show I look forward to most, which is James Acaster. Hello, James.
Hello, Josh.
Going through telling us about one of his legendary scrapes. This didn't even start as a feature idea. It just kind of organically grew, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Just as the start, because my stupid life.
So what have you got for us this week, James?
Well, this is the third time I've gone to the wrong thing. I mean, I've really.
No, you're in the right studio.
Yeah.
You weren't on Choice FM, were you?
I was supposed to be sitting down with Charlotte Church. This was quite a few years ago now when I had a lot of time on my hands and I was looking for any way to fill an evening. So, and I feel like I should build up to this by saying that. But I went to. I googled what was on in Kettering. Where
Nothing came up, so
yeah. So I stayed in. Basically, there was something called Kettering Board Games Club. On, and I don't know if anyone has ever been to a board games club.
I haven't been to a board games club, no.
I'm a fan of board games.
Yeah, I like a board game as much as the next man.
Yeah, I mean the website was fairly.
What's your favourite?
I used to really love Cluedo, but I don't really want to say that because obviously that gives you the heads up. You've got about 10 minutes of material.
I've got about 10 minutes of material. I'm not going to just do it on X. Oh, you Cluedo, you say? Well, let me take you through this. No. So you turned up at the board games club.
Yeah, I bought a game called Thrice with me, which is
right.
Because I thought these people they play a lot of board games. If I bring Monopoly or something,
yeah, you'd be laughed out of town.
Yeah, that'll be it. But also, I don't want to show off too much. Back of it. So, Thrice on the board game, it's
mid-level.
Tagline is a simple game of tactics. I thought that is modest,
right up their street.
Still fairly into that. They're going to go. He's not too cocky, but So I bought that along with me. I had it in my backpack and got my friend James Bugg. Not to be confused with Jake Bugg, to come along with me.
Yeah, Jimmy Bugg.
Yeah, he didn't bring his own board game.
Jimmy.
He wanted getting on my fright action. Fair enough.
No.
And we knocked on the door of the centre, and this guy answered. He was wearing a Star Trek T-shirt.
Of course he was.
And he looked.
It was Mufti Day.
He was very confused. And he went, yeah, like, we're here for the board games club. And he went, oh, okay. Led us up some stairs into this room.
Oh, no.
And we went into the room, and there's about 3 different tables.
Was it a house?
It was the Mind Centre. The Kettering Mind Centre.
Okay.
Now, but they just used it in the evening. That's all they did.
Yeah.
The board games club hired it out. But we went in the room, and there's 3 different tables, and very quickly...
me the board games club couldn't afford their own premises.
I mean, the budget was pretty tight that year for the Kettering Board Games Club.
I interjected. Carry on.
No, interject all you like. But I'm not going to start wielding the whip on my, during my scrapes. I'm not getting so indulgent on them. No one can interject with their own opinions or emotions at any point. But basically, here's the first thing that struck me when I walked in. There wasn't a board in sight. Which I felt... Now, there were some games, but the games were... I don't know if you've ever played or ever... You'll sort of be familiar with games like Warhammer.
I know of others, but I can't think of them. Well, there's Warhammer 40,000, which was set in the future.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Someone's more of a connoisseur than I gave him credit for.
What was it called? Games Workshop.
Yeah. So it was stuff like that. So there was one army one with all the little figurines, and there was another one like loads of fantasy figures like elves and wizards and stuff. And then another table they were playing like a card game, like trumpet each other and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, well,
Magic the Gathering.
It was Magic the Gathering. It was Magic.
That's what people at my school were into.
I thought I recognised you. Board games. But I saw this and I thought, well, Thrice is staying in the backpack. I'm not getting out a simple game of tactics in front of these people. They'll laugh me out of town.
Not an orc inside.
Yeah. So they were basically like, what game do you guys want to play? And I was like, I've said the war one because I was like, well, that's most familiar. That's at least set in real life. I can't even begin to imagine what an orc does. So I was like, I played the army one.
Spare time.
But it was even more because we sat down. We were both like, there were two people playing the army game, and me and James were paired up with one of each. And I was with one guy, and he said, "Right, I've made up the rules to this game." So I invented the rules last night, and we've all got them written down on this piece of paper.
Yeah.
And
oh my word!
And they said, first of all, let's decide what team do you want to be, the British or who wants to be the Germans? And no one was volunteering, so I went, "We'll be the Germans." And when I said, it was like I was actually saying, I wish the Germans had won. It was like everyone looked at me like, oh, you can't say that. But we ended up being the Germans, and I figured out about 30 seconds into the game that the British, this guy had painted his figurines himself. He painted the British Army to look like the characters from popular TV show Dad's Army. And at one point, I had to make the decision and shoot Pike in the face. Because you got to properly roll the dice, it told you if you got a headshot or not, and I properly shot Pike in his face.
Ian Lavender,
who sadly, he's one of the few cast members who's still alive, and I picked him off early doors. As the game progressed,
Did Clive Dunn face you up?
Yeah, Clive. I was like, right, Dunn's next.
This is for Grandad. Who were yours dressed as? The custom Elfie's same pair?
If only. But as the game progressed, I made worse and worse decisions. Most of the time, I chose to hide behind a rock. And my teammate...
In the game?
Yeah.
Not in the room.
James, it's your go. You can't get out of this. How did you get a rock into the mine centre? But basically, my teammate got very frustrated with me and started saying stuff like, "You do realise we're going to lose if you keep this up," and we did lose. And he He refused to speak to me for the rest of the evening. That was it. I was in the bad books. I had to go and make the teas as a punishment, and also get the biscuits. And I bought some. I found some caramel digestives, and they told me to put those back because he told me to put those back when we lost.
Amazing. Well, that is a classic scrape. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I can't believe you shot Ian Lavender in the face.
Also, none of them said goodbye to us. That is another thing I'd like to add.
Oh, yeah, of course they did. You're a bloodthirsty killer.
I'd never come back.
Don't kill him, Pike. Oh, well, thank you, James. That's going to take... Well, I say everything. That's going to take some topping. If you want to comment on that, it's hashtag Classic Scrapes. Get that right.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
James, thank you for coming. As always, you get the opportunity now for your hard work to plug. But Neil is going to set 30 seconds for you to plug. So, Neil, if you want to cue this in.
3, 2, 1... On Tuesday evening at 11 o'clock, my Radio 4 programme will be on, James Acaster's Findings, where I'll be discussing the subject of bread for half an hour. And on Friday, the 29th, I'll be doing my final tour show at the Salford Lowry.
Oh, that's lovely.
And my Twitter handle's at James Acaster. And going to Kettering today.
That was very good. That is kept in the podcast, presumably.
Yep, I'll keep that in.
The 30 seconds, that's a real peril I enjoyed.
I like it.
Yeah, I do like it.
I enjoy it now, actually.
So do I get 30 seconds as well?
Okay, do you want queuing in?
Yeah, why not?
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Tonight, I'm in Much Wenlock, which apparently has 20 centimetres of snow and is a 3-hour drive anyway, so maybe I will be stuck there for the rest of the week. And I have Didcot next Saturday as a tour show, and the last leg is on at 9:30. Final one of the series. It's coming back. Don't worry. Don't cry. It's on next Friday at 9:30 with Kevin Bridges. So there we go. At Josh Widdicombe. God, it's exciting, isn't it?
It's good, yeah. You can see how that really motivates people to solve anagrams and such things.
How many letters have you got? I've got 6. There we go. Thank you very much. Now, as always, we end with classic final songs from albums. That's the word. I thought the link's gone so well, and then I couldn't remember the word albums.
Final songs of people's careers. The last one they wrote.
Might as well be with the Strokes, because this is their first album. Take it or leave it.